And it's kind of satisfying, honestly. Hello, let's learn some magic. Today, more hex casting. Right, so today's goal is to take care of some slimes. So what we're going to do to take care of the slimes we're going to grab an entity. We are going to use Compass Purification 2, so that was clockwise, to get the location of that entity. I need to do 4 things with that location. This gives me 1 copy of the location, so we're going to give us, I'm going to take 1, 2, 3 copies of that. Obviously you can't see it. We're kind of working blind here because, well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm going to want this list of patterns later on, so I'm doing it in my head. Now, obviously, nothing's appearing on the stack because we put this in introspection. But in introspection is going to make things a little bit easier in some ways, but a little bit harder in others. So now we have 4 copies of the location available. With the first copy of the location, I'm going to place some water. With the second copy, I'm going to do a strength 2 explosion, counterclockwise, counterclockwise, counterclockwise. I am going to, again, at that exact same location, place a mage block, and finally, same location, I'm going to break the block at that location. And next up, we will do a retrospection to close that off, and we've got this pattern. And now, with Gloop, with the Gloop add-on, we can see this pattern and we can kind of make sure that it looks how we were expecting it after we were done drawing everything. Lovely. I am going to quickly pop that into a focus. There's a couple of different ways you can work with focuses. It's probably good to have a few focuses around. And we are going to do right to that focus. I've previously created an artifact, as I've shown you before, and all the artifact does is it reads from the focus and casts it. So we're going to look at our little slime here, and it exploded and the ground stayed okay. Awesome. This is pretty much what we want. Now let me go ahead and go into survival. And I have a file of media, and it holds 64,000 dust. Pretty nice. That is still pretty full. Oh, yeah, because this already had some in it. My bad. So that used about 9 dust. Next up, I don't want to have to deal with these slimes one by one. I mean, when they were clustered together, the single explosion did work pretty well, but let's see if we can make it go a little bit faster. Once again, we're working with introspection, because it's going to make life easier later. Probably. I would like that at a block I look at somewhere, I want to take an area 10 blocks around it, and I want you to tell me all of the monsters in that area, and only the monsters in the area. I made the previous spell a focus because the slimes move around so much that doing a Hermes is kind of tricky, but for this one we're just going to copy it and move to some place where there actually are monsters within 10 blocks. One moment. And we'll just do a quick Hermes on our copy. Okay, so there is apparently 1 slime within 10 blocks. That's a lie, there's 2 slimes within 10 blocks. Did I do entity distillation and not zone distillation? Keep the bottom, drop the top 2. Excellent. Duplicate it. Cast it. Okay, cool. So we are getting a zone distillation. That's perfect. Alright, I now need to take my explode spell and my get monster spell and make them work together. Thoth takes a set of patterns and a list and does everything on this pattern to everything in that list. But this is currently just selecting the single entity I'm looking at. So we are going to tidy that up a little bit first. I'm going to read from this list. I don't actually want to get the entity because that's going to be handled by the other part. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we want to keep the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th, 12th, and 13th element. Selection exaltation takes the list, a number, and 2 numbers, and creates a list between those numbers. And it's lower bound inclusive, upper bound exclusive. So the lower bound can be that exact number, that fifth iota. The upper bound needs to be +1. So we come back into here. I'm going to go ahead and just double check here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are going to go away. We start with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I need to put 14 onto the stack by doing just 10 and 1, 2, 3, 4 more. There is a more elegant way to do it. We'll worry about that later. So we have all of those, and now counterclockwise and clockwise, and we get a sublist that just has the parts that we want. Write that back to my focus. Okay, double check. Focus has just that list of patterns. We're going to make a list including only introspection, via singles purification, which is clockwise with the little tail. All right, now we've got this list, and I want to take our explosion list, going to combination distillation. This is going to be changed in later versions. Okay, now I've got introspection on. At the front, we are going to throw retrospection onto here, and with integration distillation. Okay, so now we've got this list of patterns. So we want a list of patterns, then we want list of patterns, list of entities, combination distillation again. We have a list of patterns, we have a list of entities, a Thoth's iota, integration distillation, we throw Thoth's to the end of it. Now at this point, this should be right. This list of patterns is going to happen to the list of things generated by this, and it's going to happen to each item in the list. We are going to write this to a new focus. So when I point at that, it explodes the slimes in the area. Now it should not explode pigs and chickens. Slimes in the area of where I'm looking all explode. This is probably really expensive. Let's go ahead and go game mode survival, and let's find out how expensive this is. We currently have 556.61. You look at those. Excuse you. So I have to shoot, I can't shoot the slimes, I have to shoot the area around the slimes. That used 61 dust. Also, I'm very, very weak right now. And the more it explodes, the more it uses. So this is a pretty expensive spell, but it is cleaning these slimes up nicely. Since it is a explosion 2 spell, I'm pretty sure that pig dies, yeah, when I'm in that area. But I mean, at least we're not doing property damage.